And I don't care what you say, it is gossip.
I don't think so.
It is literally gossip.
I don't think so.
You can say that you don't think so, but it's a fact.
It's literally a reflection. Okay, first of all, to all you journalists out there, I'm sorry your careers are all failing. Like, they're all falling apart. BuzzFeed News just shut down. MTV News just shut down. Vice just filed bankruptcy. It was worth $5 billion at one point. It's worth $225 million in the sale. All of you guys are shutting down because you guys can't keep up with us. We're making millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
On nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense. Literally on talking about what the world is doing.
Small doses. Self-help from the hip. Small doses. We're talking that shit. Small doses. And keeping it real. Small doses. With me and Nana Seals.
It's so funky.
Yeah, no, I'm a Leo.
Jason.
What?
You're such a Leo.
I'm a Leo, sun, rising. All three is a Leo. All of whatever is a Leo. Leo, sun, rising, Leo, moon. Leo.
And that's how we got here.
That's a good
to
thing.
Side effects of gossip.
Do I gossip though? I don't think I gossip. Is that denial?
Yes.
I don't think I gossip. Okay, go ahead.
Wait.
I really don't think I gossip.
Why don't you think you gossip?
Because I think that's a box they try to put me in because that's where people want me to be. They want me to be a gossiper. Why am I a gossiper? If I tell the truth, how's that gossip? I mean,
gossip is not telling. Gossip is not lying.
Are we doing the show now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're already in it?
We're in it.
Oh, hey.
Gossip is not lying.
What is it?
Gossip is talking about that ain't about you.
Well, everybody's in everybody's business. I just made a business out of it. So
everybody is not in everybody's business.
Everybody absolutely is.
No, your business allows people to be in everybody's business. I know everything I know about the Kardashians. I know against my will. Everything I know about the Kardashians, I know against my will.
They're your neighbors. I've been over here, right down the street. But you know, the crazy part is, like, for example, the other day I saw you online. You went under the Marlo post and you said too grown mess or something. That's
too grown for this mess.
But that would be gossiping.
No, that's not gossip. I'm watching a media. This is media. Why are you trying to turn me around?
I'm just saying that because I think there's a fine line.
Gossip would have been if I had come under that post and been like, well, Marlo did such and such and such and such, and I know that because I heard that from da-da-da-da-da-da. That would have been me engaging in the gossip. I was responding to what I was watching, which was her being messy. Because I guess that's like the brand.
No, but we're all responding to what we're seeing. But some of us are making money out of it. So I'm responding to what I'm seeing. I don't wake up every day and go, what's this person doing? What's that? I don't roll over in bed and look at any Instagram to see what anybody's doing. I see it online and then I comment about it. Or somebody comes on my show and I interview or ask them a question about it. Then I'm a gossiper. I guess we're all just
Why
gossiping.
are you sitting up here lying in my face?
No, it's
in
real.
My house.
No,
you know how disrespectful that is?
No, I'm going to give you another dynamic. Something I told Charlamagne. Jason Lee and Hollywood Unlocked are two different people.
So then that's what we're going to get to.
Okay.
And we're here. Because
I love this conversation because really, for you people, it's going to be educational. Because you've already logged in. You've already said, I hate black women. You've already said he's this, he's that. Oh, he's lost too much weight. He probably got AIDS. You've already done all the things that we're getting ready to talk about me doing. And the crazy part is I literally am you. And you. We're all one. I'm not saying I'm innocent, but I'm also not saying I'm guilty. I'm just you. But people, because I'm who I am and what I do, I don't have feelings. I'm not human. I can be a punching bag. You do it for a living. So yeah, I've learned how to take it. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm built for this.
Jason, you're actually a good-hearted person.
Say it again.
I only say that because I have not been in a good place, and you coming in here, my energy changed. And that doesn't happen if someone doesn't have something in them. So you actually are a good-hearted person.
Thank you.
And so when you were pursuing the route that you have taken, I feel like, and I don't know you well enough to say further, but sometimes the routes we take are not necessarily driven by light. They might be driven by our darkness, right? And then in that process, we discover something else, or we decide like we don't have to go that route or whatever. And I think that happens a lot in LA in particular. Like people come to LA and they can very easily go on a road, and then you're on that path and you're like, oh, I don't even know if this is like the path I want to be on. But then you already on the path. And so you keep riding on the path. But you want to say something. So say what the heck you
No,
say.
I'm listening to you.
No, 'cause I'm looking at your little smug little
No,
Leo
I'm listening
face.
because there's no dark road that I chose to take. I didn't go to a house and there was a door A and door B, and I chose door B.
So what made you choose Hollywood Unlocked?
Okay, so I've always had a passion for entertainment since foster care. I was in a foster home, and my escapism was Michael Jackson, Prince, and Madonna, and watching these celebrities, Purple Rain. I was in that. That's what I loved. And then, so I was the Word Up magazine guy, hanging everything on the wall, looking at all these amazing black people who were living lives that were completely different than what my life was like. I grew up poor, single mother, white woman, black father who was married to his wife, not in the house, basically caring for my little sister, ended up in foster care. A lot of bad things happened to me, which I put in my book. And so for me, I was always looking at celebrity and entertainment life as escapism. Once I got but I never pursued my passion because the instability of the grind. Like, you don't know when you're going to get a check. So I had already had an unstable childhood. So for me to go and start a career where it was going to be unstable, like, I wasn't doing that. So I just was conditioned to get me a job, good job. So I got some decent jobs. Then over the years, I dropped out of high school, got a GED, didn't go to college, started getting all these careers that gave me skills like that I needed to know, like how to talk to people, how to develop a message, how to, build coalitions, different stuff like that.
Was you like mindfully pursuing those careers, or just kind of organically?
I always pursue what I was passionate about. So when I left high school, I didn't like the way that the school dynamics were for kids. So I went to go work at the high school I graduated from, or took my GED from. Then when I was at that job and they started around with the employees, the contracts, the unions, all that, I started feeling like that's not right. So I started advocating for the underdog, because as a foster kid, as somebody who came from nothing, like, I always felt like I'm the underdog, so I'm gonna always fight for the underdog. So I started organizing the school district, brought in the Nation of Islam, brought in all these different groups, did an action on the school board, saved everybody's job. All of us who didn't have tenure lost our job. So then, but after I lost that job, I said, you know what other career can I be helpful, from what I went through as an individual? Okay, cool. I'm going to go work at probation because I can help change kids' lives as a probation officer. Not true. Didn't know the difference. Didn't know that jails, institutions, juvenile or adult were all a part of that thing that came from slavery. Learned that later. But while I was in it, I was like, yo, y'all calling these kids, yo, y'all abusing kids, yo. So I started fighting them. Then I got fired from that job after 3 years. But then the union saw me fighting and was like, yo, you need to come work for the union because you like fighting for people. And then I found what I was passionate about, like helping people, healthcare workers, advocating for better healthcare standards, better pay, all that kind of stuff. Then I found myself community organizing, different things. And then after I built up all this skill and relationships and stability and then moved to LA, I had already had some relationships in the business because met Queen Latifah when I was 15 and back and forth to LA. Because coming to LA for me was escaping the hood. Like, all my friends were getting murdered. All my friends were going to prison.
Where are you from?
Stockton, California.
Okay.
All my friends were getting murdered. Literally getting murdered like 17, 18, 19, 20. So coming to LA, I didn't have the noise of can't go to that store, can't talk to this person, can't go over here, got to be in before dark, can't walk down the street. I felt safe. So once I got to LA, naturally getting on the party scene, I was like, I fell in love with entertainment again. And then I came at a crossroad in my career where I had to decide, do I stay down this path where the union now is in this big fight where they want me to lie to the workers and say I've been lying my whole career, or do I quit and figure it out? So I quit. Literally was given a day to decide, like, do you want this job? You got to sign this paper, tell everybody.
Red or green pill kind of thing.
You gotta be. That was so I said I can't do that because I don't know how to lie, so can't do that. Quit. Didn't have a job, and then I had all these relationships, so I started hustling. And then once I started hustling as kind of like a consultant or a plug, like, oh, you want this person? Now that I know you want a man that sells? Okay, she want 100,000. Okay, cool. I need 10%. So I was hustling like that for a while, but there was still no instability in that. It wasn't what I was passionate about doing. And then somebody asked me, Alex Avon, said, how do you become the brand? And I said, well, I can unlock Hollywood in a way nobody can because I'm in it. And he said, well, why don't you do it? And so once I started really thinking about it, okay, I'm going to unlock Hollywood. How do I unlock? Oh, Hollywood Unlocked.
What do you consider unlocking Hollywood?
Well, the idea when I started was...
Actually, before you answer that, what do you think people consider
me?
Hollywood Unlocked?
Oh, it just depends on who you ask.
Okay.
You go to Dubai, it's, oh my God, it's Hollywood Unlocked. It's Western culture. It's You go to DC, oh my God, how can we get to the people that you talk to? Because, we need to get the black vote. Or if you go to the hood, it's like, yo, that's the dude from Love and Hip Hop wilding out. Or if you go to white folks, it's like, oh my God, you know all the black stars. It just depends on who you ask.
But is it considered, by and large, to be a tabloid, like a gossip blog?
I don't.
Or do you consider it to be just like Deadline, but more black?
Deadline. I don't see us as Deadline now, but I always get asked, are you a journalist, or you a blogger, or you a gossip, this, that. I don't know whatever y'all want me to be, because it doesn't matter. If they put me on NBC News, it's Hollywood gossip. If they put me in whatever, it's Hollywood CEO. I don't know, right? So like, I would say for me, I don't look at it as tabloid, because I grew up in the media takeout days. Shout out to Fred. Fred, you can look at media takeout and know, like, that's gossip to me. Media takeout, when I was developing Hollywood Unlocked, was never like the blueprint for me, because I don't know what you was gonna see on there, but it was highly entertaining. What was attractive to me about them was how they built their audience. You woke up every day and said, gotta go to media takeout, or you woke up every day and said, world star. So the mechanics of how they built that following were, and shout out to Angie from Shade Room, who, again, Shade Room. I mean, she did a phenomenal job of building her audience. So the mechanics of how they did what they were doing was interesting, but how they did it was not my thing.
So then you said, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And how was your vision?
My vision was, let me help you. So if you look at Baller Alert and Shade Room, which at the time were kind of like the two big ones that were out there, they both didn't have a face to it. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to jump in, because this one guy said to me, there's no room for you. They're already doing it, Baller Alert and Shade Room. I said, okay, what's the difference? You don't see them. Okay, I think I'm pretty smart. I'm funny. I could talk. I can read. My grandma, Maybelle Tanner from Mississippi, read us down as kids. So I'm like, I know how to talk. So I'm going to be the face of Hollywood Unlocked, because they don't have a face on the other ones right now, which means that I'm going to talk my. Let me back up. I wasn't even going to talk my. When I first started, it was like, I'm going to just call up my friends and they're going to come on and we're going to have a great experience. We're going to unlock Hollywood. No, didn't happen.
What changed it?
Because at
from
the
just being like a fun hangout space.
Because
with
at
my
the
Hollywood
time,
friends.
the Boss-Ups, the Shade Rooms, the Baller Alerts scared black people. Because a lot of black folks that we know, and a lot of folks we know in general, not just black, what you see ain't what you really get. So they've invested a lot of money in really good publicists and really good branding and experts and managers and agents and people who've packaged them to sell them to the consumer. And this is who they are. Now, to you. And then I think for me, being that I was so close to people, they were like, he know all of them.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that with those other outlets, like, they weren't inside, so the smoke and mirrors could be presented to them and not challenged. But
right.
With you were...
They were not... Well, they may be inside, because even though I may not get... Sometimes I still don't get invited to parties. I'm over it now, because I literally don't care about being anywhere. But there was a time where I was like, man, why didn't I get invited to this party, that party, that party? Because they thought keeping me out kept them safe. My team is in all your parties. My team is everywhere. They in the clubs, the bottle girls. Everybody in the club knows how to get to Hollywood Unlocked. They know how to get to us. They know how to get to the shade rooms. We don't even have to be there. I be texting people. Who did I text the other day? Oh, Kevin Hart was having dinner with Don Cheadle at BOA. I said, I like BOA. I texted him. He said, how you know I'm at BOA? I said, I know everything. And
this is so Leo. You just like the knowledge. I feel like you're not even, look at you like.
No, it's funny because I only do those kind of things because, and I'm not to Kevin because we have a relationship, but it's like, I do it to show people like, we can have a relationship of trust because either you're going to bring me in whatever you're doing or I'm going to know what you're doing anyway.
I guess my question becomes, when you are building this type of space and you realize, okay, it's not going to be as like fun and fancy like as I thought it was going to be, how do you then decide where you're going to like bring the shade in and the conflict and the gossip in? And I don't care what you say, it is gossip.
I don't think so.
It is literally gossip.
I don't think so.
You can say that you don't think so, but it's a fact.
It's literally a reflection. Okay. First of all, to all you journalists out there, I'm sorry your careers are all failing. Like, they're all falling apart. BuzzFeed News just shut down. MTV News just shut down. Vice just filed bankruptcy. It was worth $5 billion at one point. It's worth $225 million in the sale. All of you guys are shutting down because you guys can't keep up with us. We're making millions of dollars. Millions of
On nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense. Literally, I'm talking about what the world is doing. Now, if I was really a gossiper, if I really gossip, I mean, the way I deliver it, I could probably be much bigger than I am now because people cannot digest enough of what I give already. Think about it. We live in a world right now where Blueface and Krishan are the pinnacle of black excellence.
No, they're not.
That is what the world is talking about.
No, they're not. They're not talking about them as black excellence.
I know. I'm being funny.
I was like, oh my God.
I'm saying when it comes to like, for example, if you launch a foundation.
Also depends on what we're considering as the world.
If right now you were to launch a new set of scholarships,
okay,
everybody should talk about that because you're actually.
But they're not going to.
Right. Because we live in a world right now where we all want to see Krishan twerking pregnant.
Because we are obsessed with the darkness. We are in the dark. I'm trying to say, like, you can say what you want, but it doesn't change the reality. You're peddling the dark. And it doesn't change that the fact is that we are not in it. Let me tell you something. It's like the drug dealer who's like, listen, they gonna get it from someone. Why can't it be me?
Yeah.
Right? So like it doesn't change that the situation exists, but to act as if you are not a part of the situation is nonsense, Jason. I didn't even expect the conversation to go this way.
Let's be clear. I live for it. Let's be clear. First of all, let me first blame it on black people's desire to be validated by white people because the only thing that they consume,
add that to the mix.
Because the only thing that they consume is what the white folks put out, which happens to be how I started my career, and that's on Love and Hip Hop because that was the only door that people opened for me. It was a black woman, Mona, that opened it.
I was going to say, it's Mona.
But no other people, white folks weren't opening it. GMA ain't calling me. The real, well, we ain't gonna talk about the real. The real called me one time, but they ain't call me back. But you know, Kelly and Mark, the View, I feel like I've done phenomenal work in terms of all the work that I've been able to achieve, right? Dropped the book that was amazing, did all these different things. But I really feel like the work that I'm doing now, some would say, or it's easy to villainize, oh, okay, he's this, he's a part of it, he's peddling the dark. But think about it. That's the world that we live in right now. Everything is dark. The news is dark. Man just got his
man
just got his arm ripped off by an alligator. Now, should I not put that out because it's dark? His drunk and went out there to go pee in a swamp.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't put it out there because it's dark. What I'm saying is that to say that it isn't what it is some.
But let's define gossip. But what is gossip, though?
I defined it.
Talking about what other people are doing.
Yes. Gossip is plain and simple, talking about what other people are doing and doing so without being given the space is not the word, but permission to do so.
But that's what y'all did on the real.
I did not do that on the real.
That was gossip if we're talking about it. You guys were literally sitting up there doing what I did. But what you guys were doing up there.
We're literally speaking our opinions about stories that are taking place in the news.
That's what I do.
You're creating the story.
Sometimes. but that's not gossip. For example, if you slap me in the face right now and I go online and say, I went to Amanda's beautiful ass house. By the way, she rich. I went to her beautiful ass house and she slapped me. That's me just saying, I can't believe.
Because that happened to you.
Because it happened to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you say, I went to Amanda's beautiful ass house, by the way, she rich, and I saw her slap Jeremiah like the Bible, it still wouldn't necessarily be gossip because you witnessed it. However, if you said, my homegirl went to Amanda Seals' house and she told me that she saw Amanda Seals smack, that is gossip. Like that is hearsay.
It's a real fine line.
It's not a fine line.
I think so.
Personal experience and spreading hearsay are not a fine line.
Let me tell you why. Because when you see Jason Lee in the room, you know Jason Lee is Hollywood Unlocked.
Right, so that's why you better act correct because it's going to end up on the site.
No, because I do have rules and everybody that knows me knows I have been in some situations where if I really told you, I'd be like, wow, private time is private time. So if I'm in your home, if you invite me to an event and I'm in your private space, you have a party or whatever, whatever your private time is private time. Okay. That's my rule. So I never violate that. Now, what I will say is the thing that I was telling you off camera is what I'm having to digest now, which is just a reality over the last 30 days that I've been in, is becoming more centered in who I am. Not who I am, the ego. Who I am, Hollywood Unlocked, the person that does what he does. Versus anything else. Versus people's opinion. Versus the lack of wanting to accept who I am. The lack of all of that. It's just...
Wait, you not wanting to accept who you are or people not wanting to accept you?
Yeah, I think like... Well, there's that too, right? There's different layers, and that's the thing that I'm going through, right? So like, there's the fact that there was still people that tell me you're a loser, you're not this, you're not gonna be successful.
Who are those people?
I mean, people online.
Like people that you know, or people that
people
are just
online. No, not nobody that I know personally. But then there's also like, you know, imposter syndrome. Sometimes you're in a room where you're like, they gonna kick me out. I'm not supposed to be here. I still have that.
Why?
Because where I come from, I think it's hard to imagine that, like, not only am I doing everything I said I wanted to do, but I'm operating at a level where I'm able to get in rooms that I just didn't see for myself. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what people think about the administration or whatever, but being able to meet with different people, head of this group or that group or whatever, or governments or different country leaders. I never saw that. I saw, like, you know, Hollywood Unlocked was, I'm going to interview Jamie Foxx, you know,
right
before the stroke. I'm going to go over here and talk to Carucci, or I'm going to, you know, Chris Brown. Yeah, that's what I saw Hollywood Unlocked. I didn't see award shows. I didn't see books. I didn't see all these different things. You know, I don't think nobody really does when they're starting, but it's evolved into that. Now, where the shade came to play was all the people, and going back to the seeking out white validation, a lot of black folks I thought I was cool with really either were using me to weaponize Hollywood Unlocked against whoever they didn't like by giving me the tea, or by you know, pigeonholing me into opportunities that only fit the narrative that they understood. So like, okay, cool, you can't be great because I'm not great. And I really feel like a lot of our folks are waiting for white people to tell them they're great to believe they're great. When I always believed I was smart, always believed I was intelligent, always knew that I wanted to have influence and create a platform where my voice mattered. So that's where Hollywood Unlocked
blossom
from. Yeah, because I felt like if you're going to say this is happening to this celebrity when I know it's not, or this public figure, let me create a space, a trusted space where they can come on and clear the air. That wasn't happening. Nobody was doing that.
Okay.
You know, that was the intention. So
I mean, I will say, like, when I left The Real, you hit me up, and even though you are very messy,
I'm not messy.
Jason,
I'm not.
You are a mess master 2000.
That's
what
like,
are you talking
about? That's like
about?
calling a janitor messy. He has a messy job, but he got to go clean up aisle 2. I have a messy job.
Listen, Jason will trap you real quick if you not whoop whoop. It's just a game of consciousness. But I know that is what's called for in that space. So that's the thing.
You don't think anybody's ever called you messy?
Oh, people call me messy all the time.
Right,
but they're also ridiculous.
But do you think you're messy?
I know that I'm not messy.
I don't think you're messy. But when I posted you, they were like, she's messy.
Yeah, but
you have an opinion.
But they can't say why.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying people's names. Like,
right, but they can't say why I'm messy.
I say you're messy
because
you will set up a scenario. You will set up a question in a way where if you ain't smart enough, you're like, ah!
But is that lack of knowing how
you know that game that we play at the end of at the end of the Jason Lee show is Messy AF.
Yeah.
Puts up a picture, you'd be like, ah!
Is someone's because I just interviewed Chloe Bailey, which is coming out today. I think it's coming out today, and
my cancer sister.
And I love her, and I was thinking about that interview because I mean I love her so much, and she's such an innocent girl, you know, that I'm like, well, I'm about to get. But you know, like I even said in the interview, I said, "Is this Yvette Noel Shore's media training? Because you getting through it." She goes, "No, I'm just a good person."
La Japal Grenada Massive.
Yeah, she's the other one, Grenada, always dancing out there in the water. Shout out to Yvette. But you know, like she handled it all so well. She was so disciplined in how her facial reactions, because I asked her about Gunna in my own way and different things, whatever. But she handled it a certain way. There are some people that can't wait to get on my show.
Well, so here's the thing, because some people are also messy, and they know that you're going to give them a license to mess.
Of course,
and they're going to be like,
I'm gonna give them the license to be themselves.
Yeah.
And however they choose to show up, it's how they choose to show up.
Well, I will say, you know, there is something legitimate about that, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, when you are doing your show, The Jason Lee Show, I came on there because I was like, I mean, I know how to handle myself as a person. Yeah. And I also know, like, I was like, I just don't feel like Jason's going to try me.
You were great. You were great.
But when I first did when I first left The Real, you were like, hey, would you want to come on? And I was like, I felt like I had heard just about this, you.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me see what this about. And so
but you came on the last podcast. It was great.
I think I've done the podcast. Well, I did the pod
with me and Damage before.
I did that twice.
Yeah.
I think I did it twice.
Yeah.
But the first time that I did it was right after the reel, and I wasn't sure like how it was gonna go, because again, sometimes people will try and trap you, or sometimes people will make you will shoot one thing,
and so it'll roll out a whole different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was
shout
like,
out to Love and Hip Hop.
Well, that's the whole business of reality
it is
TV,
what it
right?
is, yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay, once that happened and it didn't go that way, I said, oh, okay, I guess, he's a different thing. Like my beef with Shade Room is that I feel like they only present me like one way.
Yeah.
I will say, like, when you post stuff to Hollywood Unlocked that's ever about me, like I can tell just by the way your following responds that it's a safer space. Like people don't just off rip like go for the jugular, because you don't post it like it's time now to go for Amanda's jugular. Are you ready?
But that's what's great about how Angie built her audience, though. It's the Shade Room.
No, it's really. It's literally a room of shade.
Yes, but
it's a room of shade.
She created it that way. I mean, she's phenomenal in what she does and how she does it. But she ain't walking outside every day like I am. I'm outside. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, Angie. She don't even like going outside.
Well, I asked them to stop posting me.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but she's good at that.
Because I was just like, y'all are killing me.
Yeah. But I look at it like, okay, I see people post bad photos of me. They'll post different things because we all know that do this work, how to get the engine of the internet going, right? You post a bad photo. Right now, if I say one name, oh, there you go. So I know when I'm in certain interviews, I'm going to drop a name. I'm going to drop that name. If I'm promoting something I want them to talk about, I'm going to drop it because I know how to get the YouTubers talking. Then the YouTubers who complain about me all day long, if I didn't feed you the content, you wouldn't eat. This is how you eating, because you do 5, 6, 7 videos about me because I give it to you in small doses. Feed you in small doses. Now here you got all these videos going viral about me, but if without that content, you wouldn't have been able to eat because you needed that. I didn't need you to do it.
Where does the creation of Hollywood Unlocked coincide with you losing a bunch of weight?
I mean, I've always had confidence. I have confidence then. Now, I mean, I was more active when I was online, when I was heavier online, because I was building up the brand. So I had to always be on social media. I felt this pressure of always having to say stuff, always having to have an opinion, always this and that. Now, as I'm in a space of, when I wrote my book, I released all the kind of mental stuff. So all like my mental stresses and mourning for different things or different experiences. I released all that.
What's an experience you mourned that's in the book?
So like today is my brother's birthday who got murdered when I was 19. That was like a big moment that I was like depressed over. The weight gain came out of like heavy drinking, lack of self-love, lack of personal accountability, just kind of like staying numb through life. So I would work all day, drink all night, pass out, wake up in the morning, go to work. I was the most functioning alcoholic you'd ever seen, and wasn't doing any work. And so once I wrote the book, that was sort of like my funeral of everything I've been through. I'm going to put it all in this book, but I'm going to put it out there for the world to heal as well, because I know there's a lot of people that have gone through it. There's people who have been molested, abandoned, foster care, been abused, been shot, watched somebody die, mother on crack, father abandoned, whatever. So like, I'm going to put it all in the book. And writing it was kind of interesting too, because I felt like it was all over the place, but it wasn't. I felt it was because there was so many stories. And then, so once I put that out, I said, okay, I was still fat. I was still unhealthy. I was still unhappy physically. So I said, well, let me start working on myself. So I actively started working on losing weight. And then once I did that, and I found myself just not interested in all the low vibrational, like I can sling the when I need to. I can sling it when I need to, because
What would you consider low vibrational?
Like back and forth. I'm not going to do a lot of back and forth. I'm just not going to do it.
Like, you mean like publicly, or like just
like publicly? Oh no, I don't even do the behind the scenes stuff. I don't do. I don't even do do I do behind the scenes stuff? Let me think. I don't do like the whole, I'm going to stop this bag, I'm going to do this, that. Like if somebody calls me and says, we're going to promote this on your platform, if it's a person I don't, what I'm saying, we're not accepting that promo. Like you're not using my platform for that.
Okay.
So, and we've done that with networks, we've done that with labels, we've done
Should
that
we
with
be promoting small doses on your platform?
I think so. It's your audience is there. Rihanna says if you want to talk to Black people or to her people, you come to Hollywood Unlocked.
Okay, Ree.
Good endorsement. Thank you, baby. I use it in that way, but I won't walk in a room with Netflix and go, oh, all those titles, they're not coming over here. No, we want the Netflix money. But like now, or if you're going to talk about a person we don't like, you got to pay for it. Like we'll put them on our platform when you pay for it.
So someone can pay you to have space
Yes.
to shit on somebody.
No, not to shit on anybody. Meaning, like, if you're an artist that we don't care for, that Jason Lee doesn't care for personally. So Jason Lee says to the team, here's a list of people that we're just not covering. Because either...
And is that like public or is that just like
no,
okay,
it's internal.
got it.
And so they'll get their list and then, and then they'll say, oh, Netflix just hit us up about a promo of this person. If they're paying for it and they're paying the premium rate, yes, you can post that.
What does it take to get on your list?
If you're disrespectful to any of the women that work for me, that's number one. So any of the women who work, or men who work hard every day to just write the best stories, to go to these events that pull up to they don't even want to pull up to because they've been assigned or they actually like you or are a fan of your stuff, pull up to support you, and then like you're rude to them or your team is rude to them, now you're on their list. They have editorial discretion.
Now, are they invited to these events?
Oh yeah. We get invited to we get invited to a lot of things. But
I don't know if it's like, they coming out of bushes and then you want people to be nice about it.
We don't,
like,
we don't,
excuse me, ma'am.
We don't want to be nowhere we're not invited. Like nowhere we're not wanted. If you don't want,
I've been in a situation like that where someone from what I consider to be a gossip blog, and most of us do, where someone from a gossip blog had like run up on like my team at like a place I was leaving, and I was just like, I mean, I don't need to handle it. They talking,
yeah.
But then that blog like had a vendetta against me.
Well, see, I know who you're talking about, and me and that person have had a whole conversation about that whole moment. Y'all need to talk.
Well, the irony about it is that person has never had a conversation with me. So she's now spoken to you.
No, I actually called her after.
She's spoken to someone else, but she has never once had a conversation with me.
But here's the thing. I just watched something where I was watching the interview with Adam Schultz and Academics when I was on my way up here. And
that person is defending a white man, by the way. But carry on.
But I know that white man you're talking about. He's actually pretty cool. I don't know the situation, how it went down. But part of the problem with I will say with celebrities or public figures is that it don't even be y'all sometimes. It be your people.
Most of the time.
Not saying it's that situation, but most of the problems that I have or that I've had with celebrities
is with the rep.
Have happened with the rep or have happened with the manager. I had a manager call me the other day and say, it's so-and-so's birthday. I'm trying to get y'all on the same page. You should probably wish her happy birthday on Hollywood Live.
Listen.
I'll get about your birthday.
Someone we had talked to, I had planned to do an interview with somebody and their publicist, was like supposed to just schedule the interview. Yeah. But then the publicist was like, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to talk about this topic for an hour.
That's your job to figure it out. But part of the problem celebrities and public figures need to know is that the people you hiring to help you is hurting your careers. And because of them,
they're misrepresenting you.
They're misrepresenting you or even your intentions. For example, I'll tell you, I was supposed to do this show. Scheduling was crazy. Friend died, going through a lot of different things, not focused because I have a team to focus on things. Mm-hmm. You hit me up and said, did you really just cancel the day of the
hour before?
That ain't even me. I am the most on time, calculating person. So that's why I sent the flowers. So I posted and Charlamagne was like, what you do to her? I said, it didn't go. But
when you're on your way out, they're still here because I was like, he need to see. Oh, you saw?
Yeah.
You can't miss them.
No, they're beautiful. But I had to but that's the level of detail I had to get on my team. Like when it comes to black media black people in media, we don't flake, we don't go in there with all these rules what we can't talk about. No, we need to support each other because that's what I stand for. And so there's been lots of conversation about that.
Well, we're going to have a side conversation. And for what it's worth, hit your girl.
I already have.
Because honestly, I'm going to just tell her if she's watching, you could have hit me directly at any time. I have made myself available and I really have no issue of having any conversations that are truth-based conversations. Because at the end of the day, the whole point is to really be on, like you said, high vibrational, that's the goal.
But that's the challenge. You guys don't get to tell us where the line of low and high is. And that's the problem that people have. Because people will say to me, I'll tell you,
what do you mean?
Me and Kevin Hart's relationship started out of conflict. He called me and he checked the hell out of me about what he felt I did wrong and you crossed the line. And I'll be honest with you, I did cross the line.
Okay.
I did. And I had to come back later and apologize to him and his wife because I did cross the line. I was in my feelings. Not particularly just something that he did, but I was in my feelings about how I felt the industry was treating me, villainizing black media, villainizing new media, free media. And so I took all of that and I lashed out at Kevin and his wife. And, recently I saw his wife out and I had already pieced up with Kevin, but I hadn't pieced up with her.
Okay.
And I said, I want to apologize to your wife. Oh, no. I said, no. I owe her that apology because I was out of line with her.
So this was a public thing that happened.
Publicly, but the private stuff we fixed privately.
Okay, good.
And I walked up to her and I made sure we had strong eye contact. I said, I have to tell you, Nico, that I was out of line. I apologize. I was in my feelings. Not that that's an excuse. Shouldn't have handled it that way. And we had a good interaction. But that's part of me working on me, right? But what I said to Kevin when we fell out, when I was in my, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. What you mean? He was like, you crossed the line. And he was very calm, checking me very calm about it, but I couldn't hear what he was saying because I was in my feelings. But when I think about that moment, I think about what academics just said, going back to that in this interview, where he was saying, like, if I get into it with somebody, I could really up. And that is the reality of the world that we live in, where there's some of us that do what we do with free media. Free media meaning we're not in the ecosystem of mainstream. We're not controlled by brands or corporate. We literally wake up every day and set the course of the work that we're going to do and the vision that we have, whether people like it or not. And this is a click-based business. It's a comment and engagement-based business. And so whatever drives the comments drives the bag. And that's a really scary thing if you don't have discipline or some type of moral authority.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you don't have ethics.
If you don't have ethics, and you can make a lot of money, but you can do a lot of harm.
But don't you feel like that's kind of that's like the ground, like that, to me, like that's the foundation of it. It's like you already have to have a certain give and take with your ethics to be like, you know what? I'm gonna start a business based on telling other people's business. Because it makes it to where you now get to become the judge and jury about what you think people need to know about other people.
But CNN, Fox News, The View, every show, every platform that's in the business of everybody else's business, they put the veil of public interest to cover the messy shit. When I literally just was watching something the other day where I'm like, that's solo vibrational even for you. Look at what they did with CNN with the woman that interviewed Trump on CNN. Anderson Cooper had to come up there and apologize. CNN is now owned by a billionaire, a Republican billionaire.
Those stations are not absolved from what I'm talking about. And they have actually devolved into this space because they're like, well, we can't just do news.
Yeah.
We have to add in this like extra editorialized flair, and I think that's the other part of it too. It's like, it becomes where people can't tell the difference between a fact and an opinion, because even reality TV has like blurred the line of that.
I mean, the president of the United States was a reality star.
1,000,000%.
So from the top all the way to the bottom, wherever that the top and bottom perceivably starts and stops, right? Because again, we're literally a reflection of the world that we live in. So who's at fault? The conductor?
But that's not
the conductor.
fair.
Is it me, the conductor driving Hollywood a lot?
So
is it the consumer or is it the passenger? You're
saying that we're a reflection of the world we live in. Mm-hmm. However, you started this interview showing me or telling me about 3 different instances where you changed people's world that was existing, that they were living in. You changed that world by just deciding that's not okay. Mm-hmm. So that's a cop-out. We are not simply reflections of the world we live in.
Y'all do get ready for the train to pull up. I'm going to write about it. I made a business out of everybody's business. I did. Instead of working for other platforms where they get all the money to make your business their business, I actually created mine. So
all I'm saying though is
wait, I wanted the
I didn't finish my point.
Okay, go ahead. Then I want to come out to the because I ain't afraid of no conversation. I ain't never ran for one.
Well, you shouldn't be afraid of a conversation.
Yeah. But copying out is running, right?
What'd you say?
Copying out is running.
Copying
You said
out.
I'm copped out.
No, when I say it's a cop-out, I don't mean that it's running. I say a cop-out is basically like refusing accountability, right? And I don't think it's fair to say, oh, we are simply just a result of the society we're in. We are society. We determine the society we're in. Slavery existed for so long because so many people were just like, this is what it is. And we can't change it, so why would we even try? And then you had abolitionists who were like, no. Like, we absolutely have to change this. It wouldn't have even just changed if just slaves were against it. Yeah. No, the people who were benefiting in society decided, nah, this has to change. And I know that that's a very, 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 very extreme comparison to talking about gossip blogs. But I just want to make the point. But here's the thing. The reason why I need to say that is because we are in a time, Jason, where it really is very, very fucked up.
Facts.
And if we embrace the defeatist mindset that we are the result of society versus we are society, then we become the victims of that society. So we can't simply just say, well, I'm just doing this because this is where we at. It's just like, no, this is where we at, and I've made a choice to do this because you've also made a choice to do other things. And I'm not even shading you for that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, let's not call it something else.
Well, a couple of things. You said a lot. Let me just break that all down. First of all, I'm never going to cop out from doing anything because I own 1,000% of everything I do. But I'm also like and I'll use a very broad statement here because well, first of all, you talk about slave. There's so many things. Let me start here. Okay. Black men every day are reminded of the fact that in most people's eyes, they're the sum of one mistake. I'm not the sum of one job. I do a lot of things. Y'all choose to dial into the one thing that makes the loudest noise. That's one. So I don't really care about people's opinions about me because if I lived in the idea of what people thought about me or was married to that, I wouldn't be as successful as I am because I literally navigate in the world that I feel the most comfortable. Number two, the world that we live in is fucked up. And when you think about slavery and all those different things and how we shouldn't, how we shouldn't, what you said about like accepting that it is what it is instead of shaping what it should be. Most people right now online, if not all people, are not focused on shaping the world what it should be because they're trying to survive the day-to-day life that they're in right now. That's one.
That's not true though.
Okay, let me give you an example.
You said everybody online is trying to just survive.
Okay, right now, when Jesse Jackson dies, when Angela Davis dies, when all of those icons that helped to transform the world that we currently live in right now, that's barely holding on.
It's going to be a rude awakening.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I got an email today that Black Lives Matter, grassroots is not being funded by grassroots by Black Lives Matter Global. Let me start over. I got an email today that Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which is the local organizing LA arm of Black Lives Matter Global, isn't receiving any money from them because they're in a lawsuit with each other. So Black Lives Matter is suing Black Lives Matter. We in a crisis. I'm not the root of that problem. I just might report on it, but I'm not the root of that problem.
That's fair.
I literally am the platform that is looking at the world the way that it is. Whether we're covering Blueface or Krishana, how up that relationship may seem to be to some, because to a lot of people in the hood, they relate to them because there's a lot of Blueface Krishanas in the hood. Whether you're looking at the Vice President of the United States, who people may say isn't doing enough, but then again, I don't know what Vice President of the United States did a lot. We're covering the spectrum of it all at Hollywood Online. I can't speak for everybody else. But we're also constantly the problem. So in people's eyes, I guess.
What do people accuse you of being the problem for?
Well, what is
the accusation?
Yeah, I have opinions. So I'm not supposed to have an opinion because I'm supposed to be fair. What does being fair mean? What does being fair even mean? Everybody has an opinion on what being fair is. If I ask you what being fair, we posted.
I think just being objective.
But what does that mean?
What does being
if
objective
I say both
mean?
sides, well, you report more on the negative of this person than the positive. I don't sit there with a scorecard about how many stories we write, good about this person or bad about this person. The stories are the stories. Whether they're doing good or bad, it's them.
I think there is something just kind of cursory about that. Like there are people who also basically are only putting out negative, right? So it's well, that's all you're putting out, and that's all we're seeing. Or if all your pictures are, booty pics, or if all your pictures are you with your dog, et cetera, et cetera. If, people are going to basically just pull from whatever you give. I think the unfairness is when people feel like I'm giving you a range and you only pull in from this little bucket because it serves you.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't do that. We don't look at okay, if you're making noise online, doing something positive, we're going to write about that. If you're doing something crazy or negative, we're going to write about that.
But do
My
you
team
feel
tries
like
to stay as
you
positive,
all
but I will say this.
Would you say y'all are the ones who make the noise online, though? Y'all are the ones who determine what makes noise?
That goes back to, again, everybody's perception. Who is it? Is it the consumer that's doing the most? Because if the comments are 10, 20,000 on a post, you're showing us what you have an appetite for.
No, I just mean let's say for instance, let's say just I put up a post on my Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But you all decide we're picking that up.
Yeah.
You're the ones who are creating the noise from that. But if you decide not to pick it up, you're not making the noise from that. Me putting it on my page is just my page.
Yeah.
But you all as media, and I say that as media too. I have a radio show, I have a podcast. We choose what we want to aggrandize and we want to amplify. So I feel like you all are noisemakers.
Yeah, we make noise.
So you all determine okay, we think this is something that people are going to get behind. I think many would say, outside of just even like the gossip tag, many would say that we come to places like your site because you're going to aggregate the things that we could find interesting.
Yeah,
and it saves people a lot of time from going to here, there, and everywhere.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
And the black celebrities that don't, or the black celebrities that are out waiting for white validation don't come to our platforms as much as the followers do, because
what does coming to your platform mean? Like publicists
pull up to
reaching
the
out?
show. Yep, the celebrities. I mean, I have so many direct relationships at this point that I don't even really deal with publicists, but a publicist can reach out. Typically, they'll reach out to pitch for that we don't want to cover, or they'll say, "Hey, can you cover this new show?" But when they come on the show, don't talk about all these things. No, you don't get to decide that. You want to pull up. We're gonna transparency. We're going to have an honest, open dialogue. So if there's that one thing that you're trying not to talk about, you may want to try to talk about it here, because at least we'll work with you on how we're going to roll it out. We'll work with you on how we're going to have the conversation.
This is facts.
There are people that will call me and say, "Oh, I went too far because I got too comfortable." Okay, cool. Well,
I did that.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
And it wasn't
It wasn't even a big deal, but a big thing, but yeah.
No, but I just mean like you didn't, like I've had to do that before, where I've had to call it after an interview and be like, actually, I feel like I wasn't as articulate with that point as I would have liked to be. Mm-hmm. Like, can we take it out? Because I don't want it to be misinterpreted. And the person's like, I mean, this is my, but it's going to get numbers. And I'm like, but it's my life though.
Yeah. Right.
Like I get that it's your clicks, but it's my
But I also
life.
feel like the relationship is more valuable than that moment, I mean, here and now I'm on your podcast, or people now, your audience will see me somewhat, again, the comments, they're going to be, I like them, I don't like them. But
why do people say you don't like black women? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I'm going to come to that. But you know why most people like me when I'm doing other people's shows, but they hate me when I'm doing mine, because that's where I'm giving the opinion, right? Because that's where you're giving the opinion about it.
People watch me with Don't Call Me White Girl with Mona, and they're like, I actually like her. It's like, well, you never got a chance. You never got a chance.
You never gave me the chance. So black women, I hear that all the time, because most of the stuff, our followers are 70% women. So it's mostly women, and we cover mostly black news. So we're talking about Housewives of Atlanta. We're not talking about Housewives of Orange County. I don't know who those girls are. I don't watch them. We watch mostly predominantly black programming, because most of my staff are black, and most of them are black women. So the content they put on Hollywood Unlocked are coming from people.
So they feel like you don't like black women because the content could range from negative to positive, but it's going to focus on black women.
Yeah, or like I'll call somebody out on something, or I'll have an opinion about something, and then all of a sudden they'll respond, and then I'll just drop receipts that just bury them. And then it's like, oh, look how you did that black woman, because social media really doesn't protect black women. They just use that as a hashtag to win an argument online with somebody, because they ain't protecting all black women. They ain't going to protect you all the time. They're not going to protect the vice president. They're going to protect Rihanna. They're going to protect Beyonce.
Yes.
But they're not going to protect Lizzo if they think she's too fat. I think Lizzo's beautiful. I think her body, her confidence, her energy that she puts out, her support for black media is amazing. So, I don't argue with the comments. That's why I see it though. And I recently had a conversation with Caroline from Essence, the CEO of Essence. Because she called me and she said, we need to reconcile your relationship with black women. And I said, really? Well, which black women? Hey, Caroline, I love you. And this someone say I'm being messy now, because I'm sharing a private conversation, right? But this is me literally being honest about a moment that me and Caroline actually both believe there's value in having. She said, well, now that I'm over here at Essence, I want to welcome people into conversations that maybe us as a company have shut out. And I said, so I was canceled at Essence?
I wonder when they're going to call me and clear up our conversation.
Y'all got one too? That was messy. See, that was messy.
That was messy.
But no, here's the deal. No, because it's your situation, so it's not. Okay, see, it's all interpretation.
But you can be messy about your own situation. It's just not gossip.
But when Caroline said that to me, we didn't even have a relationship for her to text me something like that. It could have been.
She texted you?
She texted me that.
Oh, that's interesting.
You
would have preferred like a
No.
lunch?
No. I actually love how she handled it. And I'm
cool.
gonna tell you.
Okay.
But she didn't know me well enough to send me something like that.
But you're glad.
Because to know me like this is one way. There's many layers to me. There's the Jason who you may hit at the wrong time with some that I may feel is, and now let's go a deeper examination into your. So now that I'm on your, now that you're in my, I'm in your. She hit me at the wrong time, but she hit me in a way that I had just come out of an interview. I was frustrated.
You were interviewing somebody?
I was interviewing somebody at my studio, and I had a lot going on.
Why were you frustrated?
Because my team was up. The person was late.
Oh, just like
it
all
pushed
the-
all my day
the
off.
things.
It's just
Yeah.
the things. I had a meeting I had to rush to. I had no time to eat lunch. I was just, it was
Yeah.
a lot. And she hit me with that text, and I sat there and I looked at it and I said, "Well, what do you mean? I'm confused." But then we had a little back and forth. Then we got on the phone, and she said, "Look, every
What was different about how you responded to that than you would have normally?
I have a lot of respect for her."
Okay.
So there was that. I had a lot of respect for her. I have a lot of respect for her. So I picked up the phone. Typically, it would be a back and forth, a real quick back and forth, and then I might go live or I might go say something. Because the audacity, the audacity of you sending me a reprimand, me.
That doesn't sound like a reprimand to me.
It sounded like an assumption.
Well, no, it's not an assumption. There are absolutely black women that feel like you don't like black women.
There's gays that feel that way.
I'm just saying it's not an assumption. Like that's a
but
real
there's
thing.
There's gays that feel that way. There's transgenders that feel that way. There's straight people. There's men. There's celebrities. There's non-celebrities.
But you know, Jason, quit
listen.
evading.
But see,
you know that there is a large narrative around that because even whether with not,
wait, I didn't finish. No, it is.
Narrative.
But here's the deal. I don't make money from going online and defending.
Facts.
I go online by being counterintuitive by creating more. So let me give you an example. When she texted me that, because I had respect for her, I picked up the phone. We had a conversation.
Yes.
But she was also willing to have the dialogue. And when she said that I want to have this conversation about, this perception that you have an issue with black women, I said, I welcome that conversation. She told me she wants to open the doors for people who may have been shut out. And I said, well, so that means that you all cancel me at Essence. So you cancel culture because I'm culture too. You don't get to decide I'm not a part of it. Everybody know I'm a part of culture. I'm just the part that either you can't digest or you can't accept or whatever, but it is there. So if you cancel me from having a conversation with your audience of black women, do you become a part of the problem? So let's have a holistic conversation about how there's this perception and how I was shut out.
Well, it sounds like that's what she was trying to do.
Well, when we were having the whole conversation, the first conversation was about this perception. The holistic conversation is how I was shut out from having the conversation before.
We just said conversation so many times.
Okay. She texted me about having a dialogue around.
But an individual dialogue, not a public dialogue. Oh, okay.
Which I welcomed. But then I said we have to have the public conversation about how Essence, who's pro-black, pro-culture, shut out a person who's driving culture because there was this perception that they may not have, investigated. We don't investigate.
How do you feel like they should have been more receptive to you?
Well, I didn't know that they were because I didn't even know there was a problem until that call. That's what I'm saying. So now that now that I understand that there was this perception, so I've told her privately and I'm saying publicly, I'm welcoming that conversation because it depends on what black women you talk to. If you talk to the Rihannas of the world, that's not an issue. If you talk to my staff who are black women, it's not an issue. If it's my former co-host, it's not an issue. So is it because I have an opinion about black women at times that you may have an issue with? It's not because they're black women. It's not because they're black. This is because whatever they're doing, I'm going to call it.
What's your opinion on Latasha?
Who's Latasha?
Escape.
I mean, not irrelevant, but I don't talk about Latasha because I don't think about Latasha.
The only reason I say that is because
is there something wrong?
The only reason I say that is because there are scenarios where someone is just like very clearly and outwardly just presenting themselves on some sideways mess, and so it's like when you talk about that, someone can be like, "You're talking about black women." It's like, well, no, like this is right here, like it's in front of you. Like, why is this about being a black woman? No, this is about someone behaving a certain way.
Right. Yeah, but I'm held to a different standard. But the reason why I don't complain is because you can't dish it out and then not be able to digest it, right? So I know I put out a lot of shit, so I get it. It's par for the course. But I would say, like, for example, when the Jordan Woods story broke, my team, when we broke that, right?
I don't think I know that story.
Jordan Woods and Tristan Thompson, the whole Khloe Kardashian
okay.
thing. And then she went over to Red Table Talk with Jada and Will, and they covered her and made this whole, like, you're a young black girl being treated differently, which I agree. She was being treated differently in the media and online.
And she is woman that was having a child with him?
No, she was Kylie Jenner's best friend who was involved in a situation with Khloe Kardashian's then boyfriend, baby daddy, Tristan Thompson.
Okay.
So people were like, how dare you throw that black girl under the bus like that? It became a whole, you ruined this young black girl.
Did you, like, break the story?
Yeah, we broke the story.
Okay.
And so it became a big thing. We're like, oh my God, you did that. Or when...
So in their minds, they were like, you ruined her life because this was a private scenario that you made public.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you know what that's called.
It's called news.
It's called gossip.
It's not. Gossip is when you hear something third hand and you say what you heard.
Were you there?
My team was there. Oh. That made it a direct viewing party.
If you ain't messy, you throw it slippery.
So there was that, and then when I criticized Megan Thee Stallion, when she didn't come on Hollywood Unlocked, but then she went on the cover of Marie Claire, and then her album flopped, and I drug her for that.
How did you drag her?
I talked about black people's desire
Preferring
for white
to,
validation
okay.
and not supporting black media, and it became a big thing. Now, how I did it was very colorful, very animated, very me. But we've since grown through that, and we've talked
Have you?
about it. Yeah, me
talked?
and her. Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We talked about it for sure. And she understands. And then when she wrote out her last album, she called me and said, I want you to host this dinner party for me. I want to bring in black media, blah, blah, blah. She had a whole plan. Her label that up. She was on the call with the label saying, make this happen, make this happen. So she actually tried to make good for that, but then that's where the people get in the way.
Yes.
But the reason why I didn't lash out at her for
you
that
knew
was
that
she tried.
Yeah.
They didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I know that perception out there. But I wanted an example. Where do I not like black women? I want to see the example. I want somebody to show me, like, here's where you did this, here's where you said that, because I've always held black women up. There's a lot of amazing black women in my life. My grandmother, who was like, she's like the backbone of my whole family, whose house I could not stay away from, who, when I was a kid growing up after foster care, I was at her house all the time. She's somebody I feel like in many ways I've grown into the amazing reader that I am because of her. Not just that, but just many other things I thought she was a great woman for. But it's one of the most annoying things I've heard about me. But, I turn the noise down and keep it pushing. So, because no matter what I do, no matter what you do, no matter what anybody does, you're never going to make everybody happy.
Didn't you know, like, I hate black men, I'm a colorist, and I am difficult.
And that may be a perception that people have about you that is not true.
I 100% know it's not true. But
what
it doesn't change the fact that that is a perception that's out there. So sometimes it's just being able to at least very much so acknowledge this is a perception that's out there. And whether or not it's true, I know it's out there.
Yeah. Oh, I acknowledge it for sure. I just did an interview where I talked about it, where I know it's out there. And what I love about Caroline, going back to her, I love the fact that she's the first person in a position of power like that in media, in the world that I'm in, as a strong black woman, to be able to say to me, to my face too, not in conversation, not in the background, to my face, and say, I want to open up a space, a safe space for you and I to have this dialogue. I said, well, the only way it's going to be safe if it's really, really honest. It got to be really brutally honest. And we also got to talk about Essence being a complicit in keeping their audience away from seeing another layer to me, because there's a lot of black women that read Essence. They go to Essence Festival. When I walk in Essence Festival, they like, oh my God, black women love me. So why not create a space where we can have that dialogue on both sides? And she said she's gonna do it. I ain't got the call. Essence Fest coming up too. Put it on the main stage, right there with the McDonald's logos and everything. They got it. Hey, Richie. I love Essence. I love them. But come on, let's have the conversation. I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do a black woman shall not be a bash brunch. I'll host it. They can have any form they want to do it. I just want the form so we can do it. Because once we have the conversation, let's move on. Because I'm not going to stay in that.
I mean, I feel like you just had the conversation somewhat here. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the other part of it too is that if you are in media, and again, I know there's going to be people being like, Amanda, you don't know what you're talking about. And what I'm saying, because I will tell you, I am not on Hollywood Unlocked every day. Yeah.
Me neither.
Touche.
It's facts.
Touche. No, I mean, I'm not on any of the gossip blogs or any of the entertainment blogs.
We're not gossip. Thank you, entertainment.
You're entertainment with a touch of gossip. Is that fair?
Entertainment with very animated delivery. I wouldn't say gossip. Gossip is like, did you
What's
hear?
the difference between...
Okay, I'm going to tell you gossip. I'm going to tell you gossip. Somebody I know went to somebody's house, a celebrity, and would use the bathroom in their shower, but their bathtub was filthy, like grimy, like gang, all the stuff that the Ajax type shit you would have to scrub for hours and hours with toothbrush and stuff. Gook took video of it and everything. Didn't release it. Still has it in their phone. I'm not saying who it is because that would be gossiping. But the point is that we're not doing that. We are not doing that. To me,
okay,
that is like
fair.
massive.
That is definitely that.
When I
is
went to Kris
full-fledged.
Jenner's house down the street to have had guacamole and was walking around with martinis, I was not looking to see if I could see,
dust
the camera
on
she
the
used.
mantle.
The camera she used at Ray J's. Alleged. I wasn't doing that. I was literally just trying to understand, like, this closet got all types of expensive shit, and she have a sign-out sheet for all her stuff. She's rich on a different level, but I wasn't trying to be all in that. Like, I'm not that guy hiding behind the bushes waiting to see who getting out your house in the morning. No, I'm not. I really don't care.
If somebody is, if somebody has like a significant other and they have not shown who that person is.
That happened to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider that to be crossing the line?
It's fair game.
Oh, you think that's fair game?
Absolutely. That person know what they signed up for. They signed up to date a public figure that the public is interested in. So yes, absolutely. And once they get brought into your world or you show them publicly or whatever, and they are somehow in any way out here doing crazy shit, they can become a news story.
I think that there is a certain level of disregard in that statement. Because ultimately, you all absolutely do not like this idea that because somebody is quote unquote a public figure because they're on television or they're on movies is something y'all made up. And it really is some.
What's that?
It is. And I'm getting heated as I talk about it because it's literally you all just made a business out of other people's lives.
Yes.
And now we have to be the ones who are the recipients of whatever you all choose it to be. And then you try and say it back to me as if it's legit. It is not legit.
But the guy who you just cried watching the people say pay your writers online, he probably somewhere in his feelings feeling like you shouldn't have drugged him like that because you created a platform to allow your people to go in there and be gaslit by your tears into dragging him, which was rightfully so. Wait, let me say,
he was on a platform. No, stop.
Wait, no, but he's not a celebrity.
He is literally the executive, the head of Warner Brothers, and he is doing a public speech at the time that there is a writer's strike. This is a completely... this is not.
But he wrote his own speech.
This is a false equivalency.
But he wrote his own speech.
You don't know that, actually.
Well, I don't know that, but I would assume he wrote his own speech. But
what does that have to do?
But wait, if
you are evading the topic,
no, I'm not
and
copying out.
it's borderline disrespectful.
Here's my point. It's not.
My
point is that
it is not y'all's business to put people's business out there that you have not been given to put people's private business out there that you are not being given. Let's educate people on the
law because the law is the law. There's the Fair Reporting Act, right? So we can write on what we believe is fair under the law. And when we have platforms, there are certain constitutional rights that the press are given, that people who own media companies are given, to be able to talk about things in the public eye or things that are involved in public trust or things that the public may be interested about. If you're dating somebody, do I, and I can only speak for myself, I can't speak for everybody
else. If you're dating
else.
somebody and you have not revealed their identity.
If you're dating somebody and you haven't revealed their identity,
how would we know?
How would we know?
Because somebody either has made it their business to find out their identity or somebody has made it their business to send you all that person's identity. But if it did not come from...
Well, let me just say for me, I don't necessarily care who's dating who if it's not a celebrity. But if you're dating somebody and that privately, right?
Yes.
And then like say you're off doing girl chat on the reel.
Okay.
And you're having girl chat about being a single woman and how you love. It's all about paying my own bills and being my own woman.
This, by the way, is not a factual scenario, but carry on.
But I'm just giving you
I just need to let the people know.
Give you an example, right? And I see you saying that, but then my team goes, oh my God, Amanda's like engaged. I'm going to say, no, she not. She just was talking about girl chat. She just talking about pro-black woman, just handle your own business. Don't need no man, ain't got no man, single. No, look at it's right over here on Lipstick Alley. Oh, that's definitely going on Hollywood a lot. With a swipe left to your video about being a woman that's single by herself. For sure. Absolutely. That's why I said
again, this has no relevancy to what I'm saying.
No, yes, it does. Because
no, it doesn't, because you just gave an example of someone lying.
No. I'm just saying, like, how we discover it. And I can't speak to the platform who did it because I don't know who did it or how they did it. But I mean, for me, how it comes out for me is more like if you've sold the public one thing and then we see something different, then we definitely are going to put that out for sure.
if you all are wanting to be revelatory about false truths, that is one thing. You
Revelatory,
all,
I'm gonna use that word.
you all revealing private information
About a public figure.
About a public figure, and you quoting the law to me is hilarious because one, we live in a nation where, as we have very well seen, the laws are not written by any code of ethics or morality. So
Yeah,
I don't look
of
to the
course.
law as my guidance on how to behave
Yeah.
as a person, right?
Yeah,
so
shouldn't.
even in my business, like I could do a bunch of things that would be completely valid under the law that I would never do because they're not morally sound, like for my own principle. Right. So when you sit here and say that, I'm like, Jason, cut the man, cut the. At the end of the day, the first thing you said was, well, you know, at the end of the day, the first thing you said was, well, you know, we get to, you all are public figures and you all signed up for this. No.
Facts.
No.
Facts. I signed up for it. I'm not even famous and I signed up for it. That's why when I post somebody that I want to date and they post it on Twitter or they post it online or they write a story about it and it goes viral and people say, and then they go find their Instagram and then they DM and then they tell them all these stories and this, that. I always tell the people that want to date me, this is what you're signing up for. I tell the people that want to date me, this is what you're signing up for. This group's going to hate you. This group's going to hate you. I just went to dinner last week and told somebody I told them all the bad you'll hear about me at dinner. Like, if you can handle all that, let's keep going.
Ain't nobody signed up for that. And if anything, y'all the ones who created the class. All right. So that's the thing that everyone's signing up for.
Yeah.
And I will tell you first and foremost, it's not like this everywhere. This is a very American and British thing.
Yeah.
Like you go to Grenada, don't nobody care about any of that in Grenada. It's a very American and British like business. Like the royals are literally only in existence because they fuel a tabloid business that then fuels them. Like that's it. Otherwise, they're like they really don't have any value. And that's why people are like, end the monarchy. But I'm going to stand on what I said, which is that there's a certain point where there is a line that is crossed. And ultimately, there should be at least a fair exchange. If it's going to be this is what you signed up for thing. Yeah. If you get to make money off of like people's lives, then there should be at least a moral code to that.
Well, a lot of those people are making money in their lives because of the work that we're all doing. Like if nobody's talking, when people stop talking about you, you're dead. No brand's gonna need you. You're not gonna get any press. There are people right now, I don't care what feature film they do. I wouldn't give. They could. Oh, I did text a celebrity recently, and this is what I said, and this is why I would say that there's a switch to me, right? Are you coming on the show or not? If you're not, then no, we won't be writing about anything you do unless you die.
Why?
Well, because this person plays around with Hollywood Unlocked, uses Hollywood Unlocked to their advantage. It's Tekashi 6ix9ine. I just throw that out there. Because, you know, several cancellations, scheduling this, gonna he be here, not gonna be here, then get beat up at the gym, they're not gonna come. I'm coming, I'm on my way, I'm in Africa. What you doing in Africa? Then I'm over here, then I'm over there. So I said, don't send my platform anything else about you. Because my team has been told not to write about you.
Have I ever sent your platform anything?
Who, you?
Yes, me.
No. But we get fed stuff all day long, you know. And listen, I don't hate.
Not from me or my team.
No. I don't hate Tekashi 6ix9ine either, like everybody else does. I don't like him. I don't hate him. I just feel like it's a platform. You want to come in, you know, whatever. I'm going to ask the questions I'm probably not going to want to answer, whatever. And he seems like he wants to do that. But like the playing with Hollywood Unlocked, send all this content, then wait, why'd you post this? Why did you do this? But then you're not pulling up. Then we'll stop posting you until you die.
But do you genuinely feel like if y'all aren't posting somebody that they're not going to work?
If all of us stop talking, and we've actually seen this happen, if we all stop talking about the person, not only will their fail or flop, but the people that are hiring them, hoping that they get the press from them, will stop hiring them because you're not getting any pickup. There's people who literally right now, every platform has their list of who they're not with. Some of us share that list. Okay, well, are you talking about this person? And sometimes we all just say, okay, we're not going to talk about this person for a while. And we let it and it's just silent. Because unfortunately, the world we live in right now is if people don't hear or see something every 15 minutes on your social media, on Hollywood Unlocked, Shade Room Bottle Alert, in the press, whatever, people lose track and they go find something else. That's why right now, everybody, whether they like it or not, is consuming with Blueface or Krishan because Zeus is spending a lot of money promoting their shows. They're on social media all day long, and fans just can't get enough of them, and we can't get enough either. So it's like, it's a crazy thing. when yes, there has to be the symbiotic relationship. And this is where I go back to saying we have a relationship with every single celebrity in the world because we write about them. Some just choose not to participate, and it's okay. I don't lose any sleep over people not participating. I used to, because I used to really feel like, yo, we want to support you. You should come and support us. I got the symbiotic relationship.
Do you understand, though, that there's also the feeling that, like, there's one thing to feel support, but then there's maybe like a lack of feeling like there's safety, right? So it's like, okay, I may come and do an interview for you, but that's not going to stop you, like, putting out some about me if it goes off.
Of course, because if you're doing it's out there. So what we not going to...
No, but sometimes it's not even like someone really did. Sometimes it just looks a certain way, and in the effort to post things quick, right? Because that's really a real thing now. Mm-hmm. It's like, who's the first? In their effort to post things before the truth is really there, it gets out. Like, I have went through that in a real way where, like, you know, Jasmine Brand posted something that wasn't fully vetted, and it ended up just going so far that it was beyond my ability to to correct the narrative for. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, damn, but it was a result of just this culture of like, post it first, and there's no like journalism behind it. It's more so just like who has the hottest headline. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's definitely like a feeling that some people have of like, I'm not gonna be like protected, or there isn't. Well, and to your point about the law used to say that there actually did have to be notes, and there had to be actual quotes, and there had to be sources in order for something to be posted, or you were sued, or you could be sued for libel, right? And Reagan did away with that law. So that law doesn't exist anymore. That's actually why you get to exist as a company without having so much, you know, that's also why like CNN, The Times, all these places, it's not just you. I'm just saying, like, everyone's an op-ed now. I've had someone write a whole lie about me and then say, well, it was an editorial headline.
Yeah. Well, they better be lucky. They better be lucky that I have not really started op-eds. I actually have been. It's so crazy.
Well, I think you do op-eds. You just do them verbally.
Well, yeah, I give my opinion, but like
that's an op-ed.
But like an op-ed, like a fully well thought out written, like op-ed. I literally just had a conversation with a writer who I said, you know, I think I want to start doing op-eds. Like,
well, that's what you should do for Essence.
Like, the culture's in critical condition.
That's what you should do for Essence.
But I haven't started that yet because I don't have the time.
I know. I feel you.
If I had the time, I would want to, though.
We listen. The written word is incredibly important.
But I'll go back to saying that again. I feel like if I could say anything to like celebrities or public figures who want to control the narrative, like celebrities really are in control of their narrative. Not all the time, because we do live in a world where. I mean,
she gets picked up. It's like wildfire.
Yeah, I went to the Grammys and I invited Tiffany as my date. I invited her as my date.
Shout out to Haddish.
But the headline was, "Why is Jason Lee at the Grammys?" You know?
Yeah,
and it was
I do know.
It was in the cut from New York,
Oof.
right? So like that became a thing. Where like I literally went.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
I found the writer's Instagram.
You just gave an example of how it was created.
Yeah.
You was minding your business.
But here's the deal. I digest it well. It's like, I'm at the Grammys. I am at the Grammys. I posted it. I am. And I'm with Tiffany Haddish doing our famous prom post. Yeah, I like them talking about me. Good or bad, I like it. I love it because
so there's no such thing as bad press kind of person.
Oh yeah, come on.
And that brings us back to this is a Leo.
However, I know the law. And there are laws like what Cardi did with that YouTuber.
Well, that's defamation.
Yeah, there are lines that, you know, you want to cry. Because I love the idea.
Well, she doubled down. So that's the thing. She was
like
corrected.
Double, triple, quadruple
yeah, like
down,
you were presented the facts.
Yes.
And you said.
I mean, Newsweek posted a story.
I'm going to get these YouTube clicks.
Newsweek posted a story that I was in Beyonce's house and took pictures of her children and put them out. We did put the unauthorized photos out because we didn't know. People was DMing the page. Oh, look at Beyonce's children. I'm like, oh my God, they're so cute.
Did you know they were unauthorized?
No. How y'all get them? That's what I'm saying. Like, how y'all get them?
How did they get them?
Shout out to your Grenada sister, Yvette, who called me like, baby, them photos is unauthorized. Can you take that down? Of course, immediately. Anything for Beyonce, anything for you, took them down. Yvette is like the god. So whatever she has, she gets. But the idea that Newsweek did a story that I went in her house, Jason Lee was in Beyonce's house, and took these unauthorized photos and put them out. The craziest thing. So people online believe that.
Do you understand, though, why like those pictures being put out is an invasion of privacy that is outside of the realm of your company?
I think the people who she had in her house take them photos.
That's not what I asked. I
Well,
said,
that's your answer. You get to ask the question. I get to tell you the answer.
Yeah, but your
See, that's
answer,
the thing.
but your
Y'all be trying to
answer don't be replying to the question.
Y'all be trying to create the headline,
Your answer
then
don't be
create the
replying to the
response,
question.
then create the comments. That's the thing. Y'all
I
not in
want you
control.
to answer the question.
I just answered it.
You
I
said
didn't
that I
answer
think
it to
the
you
people.
the people in her home, Beyonce, the Beehive Queen, Beyonce, who's on the world tour right now. Somebody's in her house and she's on tour. Housekeeper, chef, gardener, whoever you let in your house, take them photos and put them and send them to Hollywood Unlocked. This is not Hollywood Unlocked fault that we put it out.
Yes, it is.
It's not. So,
yes, it is. What are you talking about?
The public wanted to see her children.
You fully
Believe she put the photos out, but we found out later from Yvette that they were unauthorized. So the point
and
is,
so you took them down
because that's the responsible
because
thing to do.
she asked you, or because you understood now. Oh, this is unauthorized. We shouldn't have put them
because
up.
well, one, because Yvette asked, and Yvette, I love Yvette, and we have a relationship. Two, I love Beyonce, and three, there's two rules at Hollywood Unlocked: we don't out people, and we don't attack children or do anything with people's children, because people will kill you over their children, and it's just the wrong thing to do. These are kids; they can't control. You know what I mean? So like we don't exploit people's children, and we don't out people. So, and it's Yvette, when she called and said these are not authorized, the idea that we had unauthorized photos from Beyonce's children is crazy. Anyway, so yeah, we took it down. Yeah, but we all will love that fight in the elevator. You watched it, he watched it, I watched it, Solange, and we watched all that because we can't get enough of it. We all want to be. None of us were in the elevator. Julius pushed the button, but we all kept pushing the button to watch it because we can't digest enough of it. But I'm the bad guy. I'll take the lickings because it's good information. You guys all be in the comments saying, "Oh, he's delusional," or "He's right, you're wrong, he's right." They all gonna hate us. Who cares? I'm going to lunch after this. Ain't worry about it.
Oh, Jason. Well, you have to, but you have to live like that because when you choose this path, you do have to live like that. You have to decide. I don't care.
This path chose me.
No, you chose this path. You were you
I
could have been with the union.
Wanted to unlock I wanted to unlock Hollywood and have all your favorite stars come and tell us about their
Entertainment
music.
Tonight.
Yeah, they don't do that. Black celebrities in general, are afraid of the media, understandably so, because one thing can whatever. And me personally, I felt like I know I have integrity. I know I'm a good person. I know you know me. And just because I saw you do cocaine at that party, don't mean I'm gonna go say you did cocaine at the party, because I never have done that.
You couldn't even sustain if you were that kind of person. Like people would have offed you by now.
I've been shot. I survived.
But not for spreading a lie, not for telling somebody's. You didn't get shot because you said somebody's secret out loud.
Yeah, but I ain't worried about nobody shooting me. Listen, this earth is so ghetto at this point. I'm not ready to die, but I'm not worried about that. You are a
master evader.
No,
when I tell y'all, it's straight Matrix with you. I said red or green pill earlier, did not realizing that I was sitting next to Neo.
No, seriously. I'm not. No, I don't want to like burn the internet down every day. I was doing that for a while though, because like when people weren't gravitating towards me, I was like, I know how to get y'all. I know how to get everybody's attention. And I just started saying what I think in the most animated way. And yeah, it was very hurtful. I don't feel bad about it. That's just been a part of my journey. I can still slip there. Sometimes I still do. But I choose not to live in that every day. I was in that every day. Literally, I'll call my team. Bring the cameras.
Was that
right
a
now.
reflection of where you were in your heart? In your spirit?
It was that, and I was tired of the industry, because it's a lot of in this industry.
Well, y'all know how I feel about this industry. Well,
and I'm ready. I said 7 years, I'm out. I'm out. Out to where.
What year are we in?
This is 2023. 2030, I'm out. Fully retired. Done.
Moving on?
Yeah, I want to do philanthropy. I want to do investing. I want to live my life. I want to travel the world. I want to be happy. I want to be able to play with my dogs. I want to be able to not get a phone call with somebody who's acting like they cool with me because they want to be on Hollywood Unlocked or because they want to stay off Hollywood Unlocked. You know?
I think that's also something fascinating. And I want to get to our questions, but just this idea of like friends, right? And I know I've had people ask me like, how do you know when people like really are your friend? Because if you're a public figure, like you just never know. Yeah. And in your space, I think it's also like, well, how do you, the word friend, I take the word friend very seriously. Yeah. Like, I think that's not something like, I don't think it's something to throw around, Was it a hard lesson to learn who amongst this, once you got into this space, who amongst the people you were interacting with were your friends, and how did you come to determine who your real friends are and who's not?
Yeah. Are you saying the celebrities or just in general?
I guess celebrities, because I think you have made celebrity friends out of this business.
Yes. So like, I'm very mindful that I know a lot of celebrities because of my job, but I'm not friends with a lot of celebrities. But I hate telling people you're not my friend. Like, I don't, because I don't. This is just an uncomfortable thing to do, to be like, you're not my friend.
We're not.
You know, I know
that. Doesn't you think? Don't you think that eases the
no,
expectations?
I'm getting to that place now, but I just don't. First of all, to know me as confrontational, or maybe, or animated, or whatever. I don't like confrontation because it don't end well. Because I don't know how to have a friendly confrontation. Okay. It's like, we have a confrontation, I gotta kill you. You know what I mean? So like, I try not to have confrontations, because if anybody's ever seen me, and in the comments, they'll just put the name of anybody you see me have real conflict with. It's like juggler. Oh, body's still breathing?
Well, it becomes very mean queen.
Very ice queen, murder, death, die. Yes, it used to be. Now it's just like, I'm gonna throw you some shade and move on. Now, if you keep going, instead of like doing it the way I used to do it, I just come with all these facts, and then, you know, now you've lost all credibility, and every time you go live, they're gonna tell you. But yeah, I now am at a point to where, like, I don't want to have to say, like, we have each other's number, but we're not friends. Like, it just, I don't want to do that. So
the irony.
but like when I become,
because I will do that in 2.2 seconds. Now, you know, we not friends. Like, I will tell
maybe
somebody
I should say it that way, you know. But I just don't, because
I feel like friends carries an expectation, and I don't want anyone's, and I don't want people to have. I don't want that expectation on me, but I also don't want people to think that I have that expectation of them. Yeah. Right. Like, we're not friends.
Yeah. And I will say, one person that is one of my closest friends that I've had to go on that journey of having the conversation with friends are, because we are really friends, is Cardi. We've had a very honest conversation with each other about what the friendship looks like, because our friendship is not built on Hollywood Unlocked and her being a rapper, or Hollywood Unlocked and her being a celebrity. You know, it's I literally loved her and was a fan of hers before she became famous, and then she became super famous, and sometimes she don't realize how famous she is, so the fight is like, girl, you can't say it. You do, because you want to look out for your friend too. Yeah. You know, you just gonna end up on the blog. Oh, it's on Hollywood Unlocked. It's you know, but she's never calls and says, why you write that? Why you post that? Why you this or that? It's never that. And we write good things. Sometimes we criticize her. She was on the show. I told her I didn't like her song. But I told her that privately first, you know, and I was uncomfortable to publicly say, I don't like this song. Whereas if it was somebody else that I didn't have a relationship with, I would say it because, you know, whatever. But that's where I've had to, like, really check myself. And the conversation we had was, you know, Jason Lee and Hollywood Unlocked are different. Cardi B the Star and Cardi B the Buckalese is different. But we respect each other, where I can say that is literally my friend, or Tiffany or Floyd. Those are really my friends. I feel like Charlamagne is a friend. Now I have such amount of respect for him. But, like, again, we don't hang out on the weekends. He don't go with me to the gay club, even though I'm sure he probably wants to.
Shut up.
I just be playing. Charlamagne fake gay. But I have so much respect for him. But, like, you know, like yeah. So what we were talking about before we started, I get confused sometimes of who my friends are, because I think we friendly. I think we cool. And then Hollywood Unlocked did his job, and now here you are feeling some type of way because we friends. Like, okay, then we're not friends. Let's just not be friends. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be friends with any more celebrities. No more. Swear to God. I want to be cool. I want to meet you. Some of you.
I genuinely feel like that's really, it should be like just arm's length.
Stay over there. Yeah.
Like, hey, hi, hello there. You know what it is.
No, but it ain't what it is, because, like, for example, Angela Bassett, ran into her at the Fear of God thing. We were going to honor her this year at my award show, but she has to be in New York for some project. We have the same dermatologist. She walks up to me and I go, oh my God,
Yes, you're like, oh my God, Angela, you are the one.
You're everything.
Yes.
And she's like, oh my God, thank you. I know you were going to honor me, but I'm sorry I'm going to be out of time. I said, I live for you. Please, whatever you want to come to the show, anything you need, I love you, love you, love you. And she goes, thank you. And she goes, damn, well, do you really love me? I said, if I didn't love you, I'd tell you to your face. And she goes, for real? I go, we both Leos, of course. But that's the thing, like, I love that moment, but she's not my friend. You know?
No, she's not. No, but that's exactly. She's someone.
But people will meet me and like me. We'll exchange numbers. Oh my God, we should go to lunch.
People are weird. If you just meet somebody and you exchange numbers and you go to lunch, you're not friends.
We're not.
Like, you have to decide. We are, especially as adults, you have to decide, like, we are friends and we have to nurture a relationship. Like, I don't think you're my friend just because you came to this house.
Right. I can't believe you invited me to your house. This is crazy. I can't believe I pulled up. I'm like, okay,
the security guard was like, there's an unlocked Hollywood here. I was like, hilarious.
But see, I don't let a lot of people come to my house. Like, Tiffany's been to my house. She's been out of my house. Cardi's not coming to my house because she don't like go outside. Floyd don't want to come to my house because he don't want to say I got a big house without him. You know, like, there's like levels, right? But then, you know, but there's people like, I won't let people just come to my home. and there's my personal space that I want. So to your question, how do I know my friends? My friends are not celebrities, like most of them. The celebrities that are friends.
People ask me all the time, like, who are your celebrity friends? I'm like,
I have celebrity friends.
Yes, but they think that because you're in this business that that's who your friend, like that is what your friend circle consists of.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you ever see me hanging out with celebrity friends? I mean, it's like Charlemagne. Like there's people that I would consider that are my friend. Like, okay, I would consider Tiffany a celebrity friend.
Yes.
But like, we're not like hanging out all the time.
Right,
but I know I would call her my friend in that I know that she would never do me dirty. Like, I know that I would never do her dirty.
Right.
Like, I know she would look out. I would look out. Like, Lauren London, I would consider to be a celebrity friend. You know what I'm saying?
Lauren.
Like, so there are people that like I consider to be like sistren to me, even if we don't interact the same way that I do with like my friends who are a part of my regular
But
tribe.
see, the people you just described are all certain type of people. Like Lauren London, we don't be on the phone kikiing or this or that, but she will always text me a good word. I see you moving. I see that. Those are those type of people though. Same with Charlamagne, same with Tiffany.
You see?
I can gravitate to those people. It's the people that go, who we friends. We friends. But then a story come out because you did some crazy, and then all of a sudden, I thought we was friends. We are.
No, but that's people who move in strategy. They don't move in love.
Yeah. And there's there's a lot of that out here.
So we've got some questions. The people, they've got a lot of questions.
About me?
Of course.
Oh, did you ask them if they had questions for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you got questions for them.
Yes, so we've got questions. But you know how it works. If you want to get the questions, you got to go over to the Amandaverse because we're going to drop in to the Patreon right now with Jason Lee, my friend.
Allegedly. Just like I told the White House the other day, I'm going to try to interview Trump. And people feel some type of way about that. They say I shouldn't do it, but why? It's a platform. It doesn't mean it's going to be a friendly conversation, but I'm going to interview him.
Why?
Why not?
So has this moderate Republican mayor been vocal about the legislation that has been passed by other Republicans? The harmful, discriminatory?
He's focused on local politics.
That answered my question. Got it.
Then that would assume that I listen to all of them. I really don't.
It doesn't assume you listen to all of them. Have you heard any of them that you consider valid? This is like interviewing Trump. Jesus.
No.
Well, Jason, this has been a very spirited, as you would say, spirited and full of energy interview.
Yeah, I came and got attacked on behalf of all of you. I did that. But no, I think it's great. But these are conversations people need to have. I don't necessarily disagree with everything.
You really feel attacked?
No, that's just me being extra.
Oh.
But if you did attack me in your house, it's your house. You should be able to attack somebody in your house.
Is that the rules?
Yeah, that's why I do it on my show. No, I'm just playing.
I
don't do it on my show.
All right.
You have fun on my show.
I did have fun on your show. Okay. And my mom said, that was a really good interview.
Did she say
with
that?
Jason.
Oh, thank you, Mom. Is her accent really that heavy?
Yes.
Oh. Hey, Mom.